Cool. So this is from As Bill Sees It. And my name is Norm. I'm a recovered alcoholic and addict. And it's great to be with you guys. Thank you for having lunch with us. So I chose this subject because I have experience with slipping myself, and I sponsor men, and a lot of them slip. So I always like this reading because there's 11 reasons in there why we slip. And if you read Terence Gorski, there's more than 11 reasons. There's 35 reasons why we slip. So I'll start by reading it. Page 99, As Bill Sees It. The slipper needs understanding. Slips can often be charged to rebellion. And some of us are more rebellious than others. Slips may often be due to the illusion that one can be cured of alcoholism. Slips can also be charged to carelessness and complacency. Many of us fail to ride out these periods sober. Things go fine for 2 or 3 years, and then the member is seen no more. And some of us suffer from extreme guilt because of vices or practices that we can't or won't let go of. Too little self-forgiveness and too little prayer, well, this combination adds up to slips. And then there are some of us that are far more alcohol damaged than others. And still others encounter a series of calamities and cannot seem to find the spiritual resources to meet them. And there are those of us who are physically ill. Others are subject to more or less continuous exhaustion, anxiety, and depression. And these conditions often play a part in slips, and sometimes they are utterly controlling. So let's just stop the share there. Yeah, I remember when I started going to meetings, I was attending one meeting a week, and I heard someone say a long time ago, 1 meeting every 7 days makes 1 week. I said, get it? Okay, good. So I'm going to 1 meeting a week, and they were so nice there. They gave me numbers, call me Norm, because when you call me, it helps me too. I never called the numbers because I didn't know what to say, and I didn't know how to reach out, right? And so no sponsor, no steps. I did the steps in my head in 5 minutes. I just agreed with all the steps and I figured they were done. So that's as far as I'm going with those steps. And I didn't have a connection with God. I believed in God, but I thought God was over there, busy, over there, taking care of the big problems. And I'm, low on the priority. That was my conception of God. And so I went on 2 years like this. I was dry, right? Doing recovery yourself, 1 meeting a week. And suddenly at midnight, I got up and I had this idea. I got to get out of here. I got to go downtown, find somebody, find something, and it's going to be awesome. And I'll just do it this one time. I think I deserve it because it's been 2 years dry. And I didn't find any. And then 2 weeks I did it again and I didn't find any. And then I realized that I have a problem. I need to get help, and I need to go to more meetings, find a sponsor, do the steps, get connected with God. All the things that they've been telling me for 2 years that I need to do, I did them, and I recovered. So then I started helping other men right away. Didn't wait a year or two to help another man. Right away, helping them, and they all started slipping. In different phases of the 12 steps, these men started slipping. And I didn't know what to do. I called my sponsor. I called Mark Spear, and I said, hey man, they're all slipping. And we're reading the big book. We're going to meetings and they're all slipping. But How come? Why are they all slipping? And his answer was, Norm, heart attacks are part of heart disease. Grand mal seizures are part of the disease of epilepsy, and slips are part of the disease of alcoholism. I said, well, what do I do? He says, well, ask them, first of all, ask them, what were you thinking just before you went out? What were you thinking? And then ask them if they want help, if they want to get back on the horse, and tell them, I will do anything I can to help you get back on the horse. And so this is how I handled, these men who weren't successful the first time. And some of these, when we got back on the horse, and it says, the big book says that when we slip, I need to redouble my spiritual efforts. Redouble my spiritual efforts. So that means whatever I'm doing, I got to do double. I got to go to more meetings. I got to make more prayer, more meditation, more service, just like get back in there and maybe start from the beginning, from step one, because maybe we missed something. And so that experience, I've seen men slip, come back, and I've seen men slip and never come back, never hear from them again. And I've seen men delay on the fourth. And I tell them, do not delay, keep your foot on the gas pedal, don't take it off. And other things, life gets in their way. And I have a man that I'm working with right now, and he wrote his inventory and he slipped. So I asked him the question. I said, what were you thinking? And he says, well, he gave me a couple of reasons. He says, I've been busy. I stopped going to meetings. I only been to one meeting in the last 7 days. The information from the fourth came back. We tried to understand, why he went out that one. He only went out one night, right? And then he came back and he told, he confessed about it, which was good. And we tried to understand what we could learn from this. And we learned that, we read this thing, page 99 together. And I said, which one of those things is you? And he says, oh, carelessness and complacency, right? Like complacency. Hey, Google, what does complacency mean?
Complacency is used as a noun to mean a feeling of smug or uncritical satisfaction with oneself or one's achievements, similarly to smugness and self-satisfaction. Do you want to hear complacency used in an example?
No, thank you, Google. So he said, yeah, I was careless and smug, like, okay, I've got almost 60 days, man, and so we're back on the horse, but now he's in step 9, and I'm feeling that he's delaying it a little bit, because he's got to go to work and all these other things that we all got to do. And I said, so who are you going to go and make amends to first? And he gave me some names. So I have expectations, okay, so you're going to do them tonight, right? And this was on text. He says, well, I've got a lot of other important things to do. And I just wanted to say, and I haven't said it yet, but like, dude, this is more important. You would drive all the way to Nova Scotia, for your first love, but you won't drive to a meeting because anyway, it's about loving them, but it's also about being it's not all about being friends. It's about saying, hey man, you got to do this stuff because this stuff works if you do it. So there's my talk about slips, right? I've slipped. I've seen a lot of men slip. Why do they call it a slip? I think I don't know, maybe they don't want to make such a big deal out of it. Relapse is a medical term and it sounds much, to me, this is me, relapse sounds like a big, scary word. And slip is like, well, I went out once, or I stayed out a couple of days, but I'm back. So not to beat myself over the head with guilt and shame over slipping. Yeah, I'm guilty of slipping, but I don't want to shame myself because that might keep me away. My pride might keep me away from the meeting and go and get another white chip. Oh no, another white chip because I slipped. So I use the word slip because I like it better than relapse. So I'm Norm. Thank you very much for inviting me, and God bless you all. Thank you.